Hey, whoa, little feedback there. Hey, guys, we're just getting started. Sorry about that. Just getting finished with lunch and ready to go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just had a quick lunch and didn't have the microphone on. I think we got microphone now. Let's just make sure. If you don't mind when you come in, hitting a thumbs up. Let me see if I can't find my microphone. Where is my microphone? Oh, there it is. Okay. Ooh, we're really hot, aren't we? Sorry about that. A little bit hot. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we're better. Get started in a few minutes as people start coming in. It takes a few minutes for people to get rolling in. I'm going to go ahead and reset this. There's VM. Hey, VM, welcome. I just reset this. Okay, we got 10 people. People are coming. Hola, good to see you. If you don't mind putting a comment in, that would be fantastic. Sorry for the little bit of the loudness in the microphone. I was just getting that set up. But we're glad you're here. Glad you're here. We're going to have some fun. Just finished lunch. We can talk about some devices. There's Beth Ann. How you doing, Beth Ann? Good to see you. Omar, good to see you. If you don't mind putting in where you're from. And, of course, hitting that little like button. That helps us when you hit that like button to get the algorithm to click. Wayne, good to see you. And then the algorithm clicks. So if you don't mind hitting that little like button, then we'll get started. A lot of cool news that I've got going on. I'm going to update you on a couple things that we're doing here on the channel. And also answer questions, any questions that you have. The email just hit, so people will start coming. Hey, good to have you here. Good to see you. Get home with George. Great to see you. Again, if you don't mind hitting the little like button, that helps us. If you don't mind hitting the like button and then also just letting us know where you're in, that would be great. I think the sound is good. Hey, Austria, good to see you. Tucson, good to see you. Andrew, good to see you from LA. Great to see everybody coming in as always. It's a lot of fun. Again, the countdown's going. We'll get started in a couple minutes. Get your questions ready. Anybody's got them? Clifford, good to see you. Brandon, and from Brandon, Florida. Nice to see you. Any questions that you have, please get them ready. We'll be answering those as we go through the show. Obviously, a lot to talk about. The Remarkable 2s here, the papers here, the Onyx Note Air, the Lumis here, so a lot of things. Good afternoon from Wisconsin. Good afternoon, Nightmare. I love that name. Luis, hey, Portugal. Good to see you, my friend. Hola. Good to see you. Gabriela, hello, hello, hello. So awesome. We have a great group here. So we'll get started in just a couple minutes. Like I said, just 9 seconds here, and then I'll take this off and we can get going. Wayne from Michigan. Savannah from Pittsburgh. Great to see everybody checking in, as always, on Tech Talk Thursday. All right, so let's get started. Let's get this timer off here and get going. I may have to go downstairs. I'm actually waiting for a big surprise that I'll be opening probably tomorrow. I'm waiting for UPS to get here, and I'm talking about a big surprise. And I'm excited about that, really working to get things going and rock and roll with these devices. And I have a new thing that's really rocking, which is great. So things are really going good. But let's go ahead and get some questions going for Beth Ann. So do you ever do a live for coaching members? Would love the connection. Hey, David from Bogota. Good to see you. Coach, can you use 24-hour and GMT or UTC, please? Yes, I will. Yes, 1800. Perfect. I will start doing that in my stuff. Beth Ann, yeah, in my real job, I do events and retreats. So, yes, I have masterminds and live events. COVID kind of knocked us backwards on that, but typically I do them here in Florida, and we do 3 or 4 of them a year. So you'll be getting information on that. You'll see the stuff we do. This year, we just had to take kind of a break from it because of COVID. It kind of knocked us all off from kind of those things. So, but yes, I will start using 24-hour and GMT or UTC just to help everybody. I just want to make sure everybody knows where we are. Open it in live. I should open it in live. I just, that would be really cool. It's going to be huge. It's 40 pounds. So it's just this gigantic thing. So it's a little hard. I'm going to have to use my my camera that's got the big lens on it because it's going to be crazy. But that would be cool. David, good to see you in Bogota. So here we go. Here are some questions. What are your thoughts on the RM2 and the Note Air? Well, let's discuss that a little bit because everybody's wondering about it. Look, at the end of the day, I have no... I like to call it cognitive dissonance, right? When you buy something, you feel like, I bought this, and so now it needs to be the best, right? The Note Air, right? Or I bought the Remarkable, and it needs to be the best. Look, I'm not looking at anything to be the best, okay? I'm just talking about use cases. The Onyx Note Air is a great little device. This is a cool device. It works great. This is the cheapest pen. I was really looking forward to this, and this thing is so cheap. I was like, come on, guys, you couldn't make a better pen. I mean, some people are saying it sticks better. I don't know how the heck you get it to stick better. I guess on this side. So it sticks better on the front there. See that? But it doesn't work when it's in the case. So, I mean, they should have did a better job with the stylus. Okay, that's first off. The second thing is, and you see I haven't even put it on the case because I have a feeling I'm going to end up selling it. It's a good product. I like it. It writes okay. I definitely like the Remarkable more. What I would suggest, anybody that needs a lot of functionality. Now, here's the thing. I was watching Voya this morning, and he was talking about like OneNote and apps on these stores, and we were talking this morning, and basically one of the things that we're going to be doing is, me and Voya, and I don't mind saying this, we're going to be doing bi-weekly shows, and it'll be one on his show. We're going to try it, every 2 weeks. So we'll do one on his, and then 2 weeks we'll do one on my channel. And, Voya's obviously has different opinions and really deep on this stuff. So we're going to do some joint stuff together, which I think is good. We're both very independent reviewers. We don't get paid by any of these companies, though this device is coming as the first device I've ever been given. So it is given to me, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But just to tell you my opinions on these devices. So if you're looking for an all-in-one device, something that can do a lot of different things, then I would go with this. It's a great device. It's a little complicated. It's not very intuitive. And what I was saying when I was watching Voya makes a great point. There's a store on here that you can put apps, like here, I'll show you. I'm on it right now, that you can put apps that are already optimized for the device. And then there's the Google Play Store. And I think where people get most disappointed, including myself, is you go to Google Play and you put a app on here and it doesn't work, right? Like OneNote. I've been trying to figure out OneNote because everybody wants OneNote. OneNote does not work good on here. And there's no optimized app for OneNote. Now, Google Keep works because Google Keep has an app that works with e-ink. And so it's not the manufacturer's issue. It's the applications aren't made for e-ink, which doesn't refresh like other devices. So yes, you can do a lot with this, but you got to be willing to dig into it and spend the time and figure out, okay, I need this to work, and this to work, right? And then you got to figure out how to make it to work and go onto Reddit and all those things. And it's cool. Some people love to do that. I just don't have time because my iPad does all the things that I would do on here. And that's what I say in the reviews. And some people get angry at me and it's like, well, you got an iPad and I can't, I get it. I don't want to carry two devices either. That's why I'd use an iPad over this. I don't want to spend the time to figure out how to make OneNote work if it doesn't work intuitively, right? And it really doesn't. Doesn't say this is a bad device. The notes are great. It's a reader. It works. It reads all the different things. But when it comes to doing all those other things, I would rather use an iPad, which works. All the apps are made for that, right? So they just work. And so my Google Documents and those things just work. So that's the issue I have. But it is a great device. This and the Lumi are fantastic devices. I think anybody that's looking for an all-in-one device, it's a great device. I have nothing wrong with it. It's just not intuitive. It's a little complicated. The stylus isn't very good. I would change the stylus out. That's my issue with that. When it comes to the Remarkable 2, I feel that the quality of this is superior. I have the leather folio. The pen, you can just see, sticks on much better. And the way that I look at this is it's like a work of art. I mean, they did a great job with this thing. I mean, just look at it. It feels good. It's got a nice weight to it. And it's something that, I can carry and use. So I use this device on a daily basis. I do not use this on a device on a daily basis just because in my workflow, I need notes, and that's what this is for. But this doesn't do anything else. I mean, you could get by as a reader, but if you're looking for all-in-one device, this isn't it. So really what's weird is you can't compare these two. That's what's so weird. I mean, the truth is, yes, they're similar. They're a note taker. They're in the same market, but this does so much more, and this does so much less. But depending on what you need, they each have their own kind of things that they need to do. Bankman that's on here all the time, I just saw is selling his Note Air. And again, the reason he's selling it is because it's a little complicated. Like you really got to get into this device to make it work. And to do the things that you want to do, you got to figure out how to, get it into the Google Play Store. Then what app works at what app. But once you get it set up, I mean, there are people that absolutely love this device, right? Or the Lumi, because they read big PDFs and stuff. And it does a great job with that. But the simplistic devices that I use on a day-to-day basis, I use my Papyr probably almost as much as my Remarkable 2, because I do all my shows on it, and then I do some coaching stuff with it, and I really like it. It's just not as good a form factor as the Remarkable 2. But that sits on my desk most of the time with the Remarkable 2 as kind of a note taker. But this could actually replace the Remarkable 2, but since I have the Remarkable 2, I use both. I hope that makes sense. So it's not that it's a bad device. I just wish they would have made the Stylus better. And I wish it was a little more intuitive. And part of the problem is you get this device, you're all excited about it, and you go to install the apps and they don't work the right way. So you got to really watch like Voya's 4-hour videos. He does 4 videos that are an hour each on these devices. He hasn't got this yet. He'll do it next week. And then you can really understand how to use it. But I don't have 4 hours to figure out how to use a device, right? And see, that pin just falls off of there. I know people have said it's good. I don't know how they say it's good. I can't keep it on the thing. And I'm just doing it normal. And this is what I'm talking about being intuitive, right? Does that make sense? So again, nothing bad about it. It's just not intuitive. It's just not easy. Where I come from, like the Apple world, where I grab my iPad, I turn it on, I put Facebook app on, it works. I put Google Keep on, it works. And that's kind of a problem with that. So that's the thing. Okay, so I just want to get that out of the way. Nothing wrong with it at all, just different, okay? The RM2 pencil magnet works on the Box Note Air. Yes. Books Note Air. Yes. If I honestly, when I did this review, I would go with this setup. I mean, I think the Remarkable Pen, it sticks on there. But the way that it works is better. And even that doesn't stick on there that good. I think I'm just moving it around there. See, that's not the best. Over here, it's great. Wow, that's not sticking on there that great either. There, it's a little better, but they come off. See, I think there's just not enough material where the Remarkable. Let's try the Note Air pin on the Remarkable. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's better on there, a little bit better. So maybe there's just a little more metal on that side, or the magnet's a little bit better. See, that doesn't come off. See that? It's weird. It's weird. And I don't think it had the magnet right on the Note Air. Hold on. I think it was on the wrong side. So I think it's there. No, there. See, it just doesn't, even the Remarkable pin doesn't stay that good on there. And it comes with a pin case too, by the way, that you can put, like a pin case that you can put on your case somewhere. But again, it's just little stuff like that that's kind of annoying me. And and nothing against it. It's just kind of annoying, you know, where the Remarkable, you just stick it in, and it's good to go. But again, you don't have the functionality if you need all that functionality. Okay, let's keep going. Please let us know what you're going to do. Your world tour. I will. Hey, can you show the split screen on a Note Air with a PDF and a note? We'd like to see how small it is. I'll do that real quick. So the split screen is right here. Okay, we'll do that real quick. So it should be, let me just make sure we're rolling. But again, this is what I'm saying, like intuitive. I can never get the dang thing to work. Maybe it's not on. Hold on. Okay, it's starting back up. That could have been not on. Let me get it started back up, and then I'll show you the split screen so you can see it real quick, and we'll keep rolling. Come on. And that's another thing, the time that it takes to kind of, let's see. Okay, I think I turned it off. So it takes a minute to boot up. And again, maybe it's my personality, but all those things are annoying to me. It's like, come on, let's go. Okay, so here we go. Now it's working. Okay, it's fine. Once you get it going, it's fine. So we're going to enter split screen. Okay. Oh, doesn't take it. So we'll go notes. Let's just do this ABCD note. Okay, let's enter split screen. And I don't think I have a PDF on here, but at least you can kind of see. So that's how tiny it is. You can see the two screens. I mean, it's not very big. Let me see if I can get something with writing in here. Let me see if I got anything. Come on, open. Okay, there it goes. Hold on. Let me use the stylus, see if it goes. See, it's just it's not intuitive to me. I'm sorry, guys. It just doesn't. That's the type of stuff that just drives me absolutely nuts. And maybe it's me. Maybe I just don't have the patience for it. Okay, here we go. Okay, I clicked this one. It worked. There's nothing in there. That's why. When I clicked that, it worked. Okay, so let's see. Let's go dictionary. Is there a dictionary in here? No local dictionaries can be found. Let me go back to this. Let me go back. Hold on, guys. I just put a calculator in there. Okay, there you go. So you can kind of see the calculator in a notepad. That's a note. Open a note. Note. Okay, does that help? So you can kind of see it. Let me back it out. Let me take it closer. So you can kind of see the size. So that's split screen on that device. Okay, so we'll keep going. We'll keep going. What's the paper-like feel of the Note Air compared to the Remarkable? Savannah, so the problem with the Note Air, again, you know, I had to put a screen protector on this thing. So the screen protector changes it a little bit. It's got a nice feel to it, but it's not the Remarkable feel, right? It's got a nice feel to it. It's just, you got a screen protector over glass, so it's going to feel a little different. And that's why, to me, the Remarkable nib is the best nib in the market, and it makes it feel a little more paper-like. It's a little spongy, where the Remarkable feels more like paper. It's a little spongy just because it's got a screen protector on it, right? I don't think you need the screen protector, but even if you take it off, you've got glass on there. So it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just not as good. If you just had this, you probably wouldn't even notice that it was different. But if you have the Remarkable 2, you're going to notice, right? You're going to notice the difference in the way that they're kind of built. Okay, seems a new Books Note 3 has been announced, smaller version of the Max Lumi. Review device as well. I may, Omar. I mean, I only have the capacity. I buy my devices, so I don't get review units. So it depends, right? If I decide to go with it, all these devices to me, the Lumi and the Note Air are very similar. The Lumi and the Note Air are just pretty much the same device. Just one's bigger from what I can see. The biggest 40-inch paper. I'm not going to talk about that. Hey, what's up? I just got an iPad Pro. Which screen protector for note taking? I know paper-like is all the rage, but there's something better. Maxim, great question. I do not put a screen protector on my iPad because I use it for movies and I want that beautiful screen. There are a ton of them. If you go to YouTube and just, well, we're on YouTube, right? And Google, there are others than paper-like. You can find some cheaper alternatives. There's a bunch of videos out there. I don't use it. I should probably do one just for the channel. I had one at one time. I don't like screen protectors, guys. I'll be honest. I can't get them on these devices. It's one of the turnoffs. I don't know why Books doesn't do it at the factory. They send 2 of them with you. Just, I'll pay extra. I'd pay $50 or $20, whatever. Just put the screen protector on. They're almost impossible. My last Onyx Booksmax 2, I took it to a professional, and he had issues with it. So I just wish they would do a better job of, you know, putting the screen protector on without us having to do it, because it's not the easiest thing in the world. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks, Maxim, though. But yeah, I would YouTube that and kind of search for some paper-like alternatives, though the paper-like gets good reviews. I just don't like the matte on my iPad. Can you try the RM2 magnets on the Air? Yeah, I tried that. It's okay. So there's a magnet, must be right in the middle of the pin that's causing this to either stick or not stick. See, it sticks. It sticks, but it's not very good. I don't know if it's the density or what is going on with it. I mean, it's there, but it's not very good. Maybe my unit's bad. Maybe I got a bad unit. I don't know, but it doesn't stick that well, either of them. They don't stick that great on there. Was a great video. I learned a lot. Okay, great. RM2 pin on the Air. I mean, see if it sticks. Yeah, I just did that. Live chat with you both. We may do that in the future with Voya. Voya is awesome. If you bottleneck a CPU, will it still give good frames per second? I don't know. That's a good question. Don't have an answer for that. Stefan, do you see the risk in using the RM2 without folio? I took the standard sleeve, as I prefer to use my device naked. No, I think this device is solid. I mean, it just feels solid. I think it's a real, they got these little legs on the bottom. They did a good job with it. I've given Remarkable a really hard time with the way they did their launch, but I can't complain about the build quality of this. You hold this, you know you've got a solid device in your hands. You know, with that pin on there, you know you've got something solid. And it's something that you can carry into a meeting, you can take it out, and it just works. You know, that's the thing about it. By the way, if you want to say in where you're at, that would be fantastic. Love to see you here. But great question. Since you reviewed iPad versus those devices, have you ever considered also giving a try to Microsoft Surface devices? That is a great question, and yes, I need to do that. I need to get a Surface Pro. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't bought it. but I need to do it. I need to fit it in when I can, learn these devices and then bring one in. But yes, I would love to do that. I think they're catching up. I've just had iPads for a long time. There's Bank Guy. If the Note Air or any Android device could serve essentially as an ink tablet with the functionality and easy use of an iPad or a Surface. See, that's the key. Then this is a productivity solution. Instead, this is a woefully underpowered, kludgy hodgepodge of a little bit of everything and not a lot of everything. Okay, so just so you guys know, Bank Guy has been with us a while, and I just saw that he is selling his Note Air, and that's kind of how I feel. And I think people get so, like I said, like cognitive dissonance. Like, I bought this, it's the best thing ever, it's awesome. And I think the truth is that if you're willing to spend hours and hours and hours and hours on, it's a great device. But I kind of agree with Bank Guy. It's like, it's a bunch of everything shoved into a device, and you're trying to make it work for you. And again, I think that the Lumi's better because it's big, and if you're a PDF reader, I think that's a great place. I'm working with the Papyr team to try to develop their reader even better, because I think this is a great device to read on. So is the Quaderno, which is the same platform. And I actually prefer this. It's actually thinner than the Lumi, which is over here somewhere. I don't know where the Lumi is. I don't know where. Oh, here it is. And lighter than the Lumi, So this is the I won't take it out, but you can kind of see how big the Lumi is. And again, to me, and that's why I get people yell at me about this. Look, I have no skin, and I bought these. I want them to be great, right? I bought these, but I just don't have time. Like, it's like it takes hours to like get stuff to work, right? But where it would work, I personally feel that this device reading PDFs is great. And I think they're going to get these better. And I think the form factor for me on this is a little better. I do need to get a case for that, by the way. I don't have a case. So anyways, to the Bank Guy here, I agree with this. He says it's just a lot of stuff, and I don't want anybody to get mad, but it's just my thoughts. I need a digital notebook, not a crippled ink iPad alternative. Yeah, I think that's the issue. But I'm not being negative against it. I do think there's a place for these devices. And I think you got to just be smart and be willing to give them time to really work through the low startup, and then it starts up, and then find what you need, and then do what you need. It does work as a secondary monitor. Again, I would prefer the Lumi over the Note Air for that. Split screen, I would prefer the Lumi over the Note Air. I do know the Papyr device is getting split screen next month. That's no secret. They've already told me that, and they've got some big updates coming, which I'll be telling you that have the Papyr, which is great. I really wanted to let you know I really like your positive energy. Thank you, Lorenzo. We try to be positive. I mean, at the end of the day, that's my real job, is about positive energy, and that's what this channel is going to be. I mean, we're going to evolve this channel beyond, obviously, e-ink. This is a hobby. This isn't even like what I do, but I have fun, and obviously everybody shares interests, but I want to entertain. Like, I'm ready to grow this channel and have some fun and be at a place like my mentor Johnny Carson did, where you come to get away from life a little bit. I've said that before. I'm working on the cameras. I got a new Sony A7C coming. I have the Sony A7 III. I'm learning these things. I'm learning about f-stops. You guys taught me how to dial the f-stop back on the last video to make it look better. So I'm learning. I mean, I don't even know lighting. I got a light up here, which you can see I got it in a bad spot. I probably should make it higher a little bit. I'm going to move that up a little bit. So it's out there. I got a light in front of me, and I got some blue light behind me. So I'm learning. I mean, and this is just a webcam on my LG monitor, so I don't even have a camera working here. But I'm learning all this stuff, and it's about the energy, and that's what I want to keep doing. What writes better, Papyr or Note Air? That's a tough one. The Papyr uses this Sony Stylus, which you can get two different nibs on it. One's a ballpoint, and one is a pencil nib. I like the pencil nib, and I think the writing feel on the Papyr is a little bit better because there's no screen protector on it, okay? And it just depends on the nib. If you like the ballpoint, it's going to be a little harder. The pencil is going to be a lot softer. And this stylus has been around, but it's also got the eraser button and the highlight button, which is nice. So the Note Air writes good, but I think the Papyr writes a little better. And I do think the Papyr can really do well if it gets that PDF reader. Where the Note Air is better is that there's a little lag in the Papyr. I got to tell you, there's some lag. So when you see it, there's a little lag, and you may notice it if you're coming from the Papyr. And from the Remarkable, you definitely notice it, because Remarkable 2 is like fire. It's just fast. And then the Note Air is really quick too. And then you come to the paper, there's a little lag there. But they're only on the second version of their software. They're working on it, and it gets a little better every month. The iPad screen protector for note-taking have a writing experience more close to which of the e-devices that you have. I think the Paper-like is kind of like the Note Air. It's kind of, again, like a screen protector on there. It's a little bit better. I think if you could take the Paper-like and put it on the Note Air, which some people are doing, I just don't know how to cut. And again, those are things I don't want to do. I don't want to buy a device and go get a Paper-like and then cut it to fit on my device. I don't have time for that, right? Some people do. I don't. Again, it's nothing against the device. I'm just me, right? I'm telling you me. So, but that may be the way to go, is put the Paper-like on the Note Air and then use a Remarkable nib. But I don't want to do that, right? But that would be like a good solution. I still think the Remarkable nib on the Note Air makes it a better device. I'm glad you pay attention to file structure. RM is easy on any platform. If Onyx is anything like Boyu, it's a nightmare maintaining folders. Are you finding this to be a case for you? Harrison, I'm not using their file system as much anymore because I just haven't gotten into it. And that's part of the complication of using the Onyx devices, is you have to really decide how you're going to use them, if that makes sense. So that's a little bit of an issue, like what file system to use. You know, are you going to use Google Documents? You're going to use Google Keep? What are you going to use? And that's kind of the issue within the framework of their system. QuirkLogic has a great file system because they obviously have the Quilla. The big 42-inch ink device was their first device, and then they brought the Papyr in based on the Sony platform. So they already have an infrastructure, which is really nice on their own software. And I think you have to be careful because the Remarkable and the Onyx, the Remarkable and the Papyr have proprietary engineering teams that have built their software, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing, where the other devices kind of don't. Even though with the Papyr, you can access Google Chrome. I do think the browser on the Note Air and on the Lumi is pretty good for an e-ink device. But again, I'm not going to browse the internet on these devices. I'd rather have my iPad, but that's me. If you just want one device, you can get away with browsing with these devices. And I would say the front light is awesome. It's a really good addition. Be nice to see it with the Remarkable, but I think they would have to raise the glass and you wouldn't have as good a writing experience. Buy the Air and some spare pins. Ouch. Yeah, that's true. Do you find did you find a better, I didn't put it on yet. I have, this one's supposed to be good, Healing Shield, but again, these are things that just annoy me. Like, I don't have time to sit down and try to put a screen protector on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I run a couple businesses and, I try to golf and, I just got back from training. I mean, I literally grabbed some lunch. After this, I got a client meeting this afternoon. And it's hard to find the time to do this. You know what I mean? And that's part of my issue. So again, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. With the Papyr, since you chat with those folks, if they're developing the same kind of computer app, device sync functionality that Remarkable has. I love how easy the RM's app to use is. I'll ask some Christian on what they're doing on that as far as device sync. Their sync's pretty good. The Papyr sync isn't bad. You just kind of plug it in and it just syncs. It syncs pretty good. You log in via their app and you can just drag PDFs in. I personally like the QuirkLogic system as much as Remarkable, if not more than, because the thing that I like about the QuirkLogic Papyr is when I'm out and I have my phone, I don't even know where my phone is. It's probably in the heap of all this stuff somewhere. There it is. I have the QuirkLogic app, and one thing that's cool is you log into your device from this app, but what's cool is when you're in here, let's say I want to go find a document, I can go into here and find a document, and I can work on this document. Now, I only get a pen and eraser, but for like a list or something, I wish Remarkable had that I could actually use on my other devices and actually work on a document and work with other people. So that's their killer advantage, is that you can actually work on a document based on, whatever they have. So let me go into like a document that I did today, and I'll go in here to my CoachCast documents, and I'll grab just this document, and you'll see it pull up. And as it pulls, I don't know if you can see that very good, but as it pulls up, I have a PDF. That's just too bright. Let's see. I can't get it to work. But anyways, I got a pencil here that I can actually work on the screen, and I just scribbled on the screen. You can't see it. But then I have an eraser, and I can actually work on my document from my phone or my iPad or a computer or any other device, which I think is really, really nifty. So I do like what they have. with all these devices that you have, do you ever have a problem remember what files you put on what device? No, Moises, one of the things I do is I stay pretty standard with my devices, and then I'll go try something else just to use it to test for people here. And if it doesn't really fit into my workflow, then I don't put it into my professional workflow just because I don't have time. So I have certain things that I have to do, so I use specific devices for those things. And then when something comes in, that's what people always ask. My big test is it going to fit in my workflow? Is it a wow to me? Like, wow, this is awesome. This goes in. And that's what I'm looking for, you know? So no, I don't, but thank you for that. How buggy is the Onyx Air? ARM things just work. I don't lose notes and PDFs even on long ones. My old boy, it was a crapshoot. You finding this with your new Onyx devices? No, Onyx devices work. They're just not intuitive, right? They're fine. They work. They're not so buggy. I think they've really upgraded since my Onyx Max 2. I think the software upgrades are great, but they're not really intuitive. Like, that's the problem I have with it. Hey, coming in late. That's all right. You're here. Better late than never. Chip, hey, man, good to see you. And notice when you update the Lumi, the dictionary has to be re-downloaded. Yeah, well, look, it's just like anything else. So I have a 1974 Corvette that was my father's, right? Mechanical engine. It's awesome. I mean, I can actually work on that thing. I literally can work on it. You go out to my other car, and I have a BMW X3, right? Thing is like a spaceship. I can see the speedometer in the windshield. I can see the map in my wind. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. My whole display is all LED. So I got this Corvette that's all mechanical. Like, I can pull out the radio. I can put the radio in. Heck, I can change the spark plugs. I can do everything because it's basic and it just works. If anything happens to that X3, I can't do anything with it. I mean, and so when you have a lot of different components, as the Onyx do, you're opening yourself up to more problems. And that's just an engineering systems thing. Again, nothing against the Onyx or nothing against what they do. They just have a lot going on. So when you have a lot going on, it's easier to break. And I think that's why the Remarkable is keeping things so simple, because the simpler it is, then you don't have more things that break. And I think that's the problem as you do things. Renito, hey, good to see you, my man. Chip, people say the RM1 is more like paper than RM2. How different it really is. I love the feel. Would hate to lose that. I don't think there's much difference. I mean, it's all about the nib. I think maybe a little bit slicker than the RM1, but I don't feel that much difference. I really don't. I know some people are that tactile. I don't feel that much difference between the two. I think you take the Remarkable nibs, and that's the key. It's all about those nibs. And yeah, the Remarkable one may have a little bit more paper feel, but I would take this form factor over, where is it? This. Hold on. Over this, throwing the Quaderno out of the way, any day of the week. I mean, I just think, look at the difference in the two, and the writing is pretty close. And this just feels so quality compared to that kind of plasticky stuff. Not that this is a bad device. I think the Remarkable one is still great for a college student or somebody that wants a device. It works, same software. It's just a form factor is night and day. I mean, it's night and day. The quality is just so much different between the two. Really is. You can feel it. You can feel it. And again, I don't think there's that much difference in writing. Nothing that's that noticeable. You may feel a little bit slippier, but it's not that noticeable. Trevor says, quite a few people on the RM Facebook group seem to be bailing out of the Onyx Lumi Note. Interesting, there's more drawbacks being identified by users, writing and file structure. Yeah, it's not the greatest device in the world. I mean, more than likely, I'm putting mine up on eBay. It's not something that I'm going to use consistently, again, but I'm not a multi-device user. You know, I'm looking for that iPad to be my multi-device thing. So I don't think that's the, you know, so it is what it is, right? I mean, for me, it's a great little device. I think they did the pin cheap. And it's just, what's weird for me also with Onyx is they're rushing out the Note 3 already. They just released this last week, and now they got a competing product to it. It doesn't make you feel good as a consumer all the time. I know Apple upgrades on an annual basis, but it's like, man, you just put this out, and all of a sudden you got another device. So that kind of is a weird deal from the company, but it's okay. I mean, it's all right. I mean, if you're used to the Remarkable kind of feel and quality, you're going to be let down a little bit by this device. It feels good. I mean, it's a nice looking device, but having to put a screen protector on it, and then it's okay. Again, I think it's in the okay bracket. I could use it if it was my only device. Good to see you, Maltese. Thanks, Trevor. Ace of Base, what is up? Portland, Oregon. Love it. Frankie, good to see you. Stefan, thanks. Tomas Virginia, have you tried downloading apps on the Note Air? How was the experience? It's okay. Again, more with Voya on the Lumi. It's the same thing. It's almost bad that we have the Google Play Store and their store. And I think that's what's so confusing. Which app do you use? Do you use the Kindle app that you should go through their store, or do you use the Kindle app that you get through Google Play? And I think that causes a lot of confusion. But it's not hard to download the apps. It's hard to kind of get the Google Play set up because you got to register your machine, and there's some security issues with that, and that gets a little tricky. Again, nothing is as intuitive. That's kind of the issue with it, right? Remember the time that the community was all about distraction-free. Now it seems to be more about functionality. I know it's weird. Some people want distraction-free. Some people want functionality. I get it. I mean, each person is different, Stefan. Darn it, banging, or the Note Air being too impatient for the RM2. A question, however, is it capable note-taking device? That's really what I want and have since the Palm 3. Jeff, yeah, at the end of the day, you're not going to be disappointed in this device. I mean, it's okay. Like, it does everything that you needed to do. You're going to take notes on it. You're going to read with it. It's got a light on it, which is great at night. I think it's just hard to compare it to the Remarkable because it's a different device. And then what are you going to compare it to? Well, what do you do most of the things? Where do you take your notes? Where do you check your internet? Where do you do your email? Well, for me, that's an iPad. Well, this doesn't compete with an iPad unless your eyes are so bad that you need e-ink. But it's slow. The apps aren't made for it, except for the ones that are, there aren't that many. And I think you're going to be better off with a Surface tablet or a iPad than this. And then when you get into, well, I just need a note taker. Well, then I think the Remarkable beats it. So that's the issue. It's kind of in no man's land, right? It's a master of many, which is a master of none. And I think that's what hurts it. The light on it does help it a little bit, but that's the problem with it. I think that's why a lot of people, you're seeing a lot of discussion as it's coming out. Man, I don't know if I need this device or not, right? Yes, I want an iPad, convert my handwriting, save the work. I can use my PC exactly. Moises says, how well does the RM2 work offline? Does it need constant Wi-Fi connection? No, it works fantastic offline. Doesn't need connection. It syncs when it is connected, though. Then loving the energy you bring. Thank you, Nightmare. Excited to see where the channel goes. I am too. I'm interested. I'm 51 years old. So I don't have any ego in this thing. Like, I'm not trying to be the Kardashians, even though my wife laughs at me. She's still stuck in Colombia. One day she'll be back and be able to help me with the channel, but she laughs and she calls me JB Kardashian. And I'm like, no, I don't have any ego in this thing, and that's not what I want to do. I'm just having fun. And I hope you guys are too. And I'm trying to be honest and do this with as much integrity as possible. I have not got any money or anything from any of these companies. I do have a device coming, though, that a company is going to send me in full disclosure. It is a $5,000 device. It's coming today at any time. So that is something that I do have to disclose. And yes, I'm going to use it a lot. And it will be in some of the videos because it is a very special device, more for corporate and stuff. But thank you. Thanks for the work. Thank you. Hi, nice energy. Thank you. Does the Remarkable support the Kindle? Greetings from Colombia. Hey, Carolina. Hola. I have apartments. Yo tengo apartamentos in Ibagué and in Bogota. You can see for all my Colombian friends, I am a supporter of Tolima. Okay, for all my Colombians, the P-House, this is the Tolima soccer team. I have an apartment there in Colombia. So good to have you. Does the Remarkable support Kindle? No, it doesn't. One of the problems with the Remarkable 2, and good, I finally get to say something bad about the Remarkable 2. It is not a good reader. I don't think it's a great reader. I personally love my Kobo. I've said that a bunch. This is what I read all my books on. The Kindle Oasis, I am going to do a competition between the two. I did find that the other day. I didn't have it last week, but I just love this form factor. I don't know where I keep losing the Kindle Oasis. I think it's in my studio, but it's got the potential to be a great reader. Look at it. The size is awesome, but it doesn't do DRM-free books. It doesn't have an app, and I don't think they're ever going to put one on there. I just don't think that's what they want. And I'm talking as a company, not us. So I think that's the problem. It's just one of those things that adds to the complexity of the device. They just don't want to deal with it. AJ, good to see you, man. Buenos dias. Okay, note-taking is my primary use case. However, having a search within the notes is probably the biggest need I have for notes. Does the paper have this search, and do you think Remarkable will bring it? I don't think Remarkable will bring it. Maybe one day, right? I don't want to ever say no. The paper, I got to check because I don't use that feature. But I mean, the one thing I'll tell you about Quirks Logic and the paper, the company, they are the most active company of any of these. They actually watch the videos. They actually respond to it. The tech team's there answering questions. They actually do live one-on-one coaching with people that buy their device, which I think is great. And they're willing to work with people. They had a battery issue. They sent me the fix it right away. So they are on it. I mean, that's one thing that I do like about the company, but I don't know about search, and I have to find that out. That's a great question. How's the reading tools that come from, Francisco says, from the RM2? I think that's the issue. The reading tools are not the best. That is where I could say the Onyx Note Air is better, okay? The Lumi is better. And that's what I would say. If you're somebody that reads and needs to read PDFs, that's why I think the Lumi, I think this device is actually more of a usable device than the Note Air because you can split screen it and you can read large PDFs. Now, you're going to pay double of anything. You're almost in iPad range with this thing, right? But you've got a huge PDF reader. And you can split screening and take notes. The paper, which is up there too in price, they're getting ready to come out with split screen, which is, and the big thing I'm telling them is make your device the best PDF reader out there because that's what people need. Because you're not going to compete with the Remarkable. What you're going to compete with is these devices where somebody needs an e-ink reader where they're doing massive scientific journals and PDF reading. That's where these two devices work. And again, the Note Air kind of fits in the middle of all of that, right? So it's a small one, but it doesn't really work great for big PDF readers. But it is good. It's got Kindle. You can put your books on here, and it's got that front light. So that's where it's good. But again, if you could step up to the Lumi, if you do a lot of reading, that's what I would use it. But if you're like a lot of us, you got a couple $100, you get a reader that you use. And again, people say, well, I don't want to carry everything. Well, I carry a iPad, a laptop, Remarkable, iPad, and this, right? iPad, laptop, Remarkable, and this. It's not a lot. I throw it in my backpack, I'm good to go, right? And that's what I carry. I have another backpack with camera gear now that I'm doing this. That one's got a lot more stuff in it, let me tell you. I just got a new gimbal. This thing's so crazy. We're going to be doing some cool stuff. Okay, as we keep coming, how are the readings? Coach, something missing from all the reviews that you can look into. How long you think the RM2 nib will last, and how much are they to replace? My nibs last about a month. Not sure on replacement costs. Typically $20 for about 10. They're usually $2 or $3 a piece. So you figure you're going to go through $2-3 a month. Some people file them down. And they file them, and they, so they use it for a while, and then they file it, and that lasts longer. I don't do that. I have a whole case with nibs in it now of different nibs, but I would say on use about a month of pretty heavy use, and I'm a presser too, so it goes pretty quick. But thank you for that. Would you replace the Air versus the Kobo for reading? No. This is, maybe reading PDFs, but this is the form factor. I have read more books since I've got this than anything, just because it feels so good in my hand. I use it in bed. It's just like the perfect reading device, I think. I really do. I love it. This is something that it just works. So the Air I would not replace. It's just heavier and bigger, right? This is not something I want to sit in bed with. It's just not. It's not. Where this, and that's where I get most of my reading done, to be honest with you, is typically at night on the sofa or in bed. That's where I do a lot of reading. So this device just works for me. Hey, what's up from Poland? I like it. James just bought a box of Remarkable tips from the official web store. 24 CAD, including tax and shipping. There you go, James. Smartest subscribers on the internet this channel has. I'm telling you, by far. Just look at the comments. I don't know everything, guys, too. Please, this is another thing. Sometimes people rip me because my videos aren't that great, and I make these comments. I try to be as honest as possible. I don't know everything. I'm just a guy like everybody else. I'm just putting this energy together because I love it, like all of us. And I'm trying to get the most productive tools in your hands that I use, because that's what I'm known for. Literally, I do a coach cast every day. I've done 4,030, I think, as of today. I do a video almost every single day. I golf almost every single day. I don't have children, which is a blessing to me. I know children are a blessing to some, but it does help me be more effective. And I also run 2 businesses. So I'm extremely busy with my life. I coach, I run masterminds. I have a lot of things going on. And so the focus that I have is really on being as productive as possible. And that's why when I buy a device, it's just got to work. I'm working Monday through Sunday right now with YouTube. and I'll go golf Sunday morning, come back, shoot a video, and I'm done at 4 or 5 o'clock, or I'll go out and do something, right? And then shoot a video. So I need things that are going to work within the framework of getting things done. And then I play guitar at night. I'm learning guitar. So I have a lot of things going on. I don't have time to spend with devices that aren't going to work and be timely for me. And that's a big part of this channel. Hopefully, I think we're attracting a lot of busy people like myself that are looking for productivity tools that are going to make their life easier. And that's really what this is about. Huge thanks for taking these questions. Third question, when I output marked up PDFs from the RM1, strokes and such stay as expected. Does the Onyx system maintain strokes and quality on exports? I haven't done that yet, so I can't tell you. I can tell you the Papyr does an amazing job. You can change colors. You can export different ink colors, and it does a really great job with their contextual menu. You just press it, and you can change the color of the ink. They do probably the best that I've seen. They have an unlimited canvas, which you can reshape to a PDF, so it prints on letter size. So you can mind map this huge thing out and then bring it down. I'm telling you, the Papyr is an underrated device for what it does. I don't talk about it enough on the show. Next week, I'm going to do some stuff on it. It just has some issues. It's not as like these other things. It's not as great at them. They're really new. There's a little lag in the writing, but overall, it's just an easy, simple device that does some pretty cool things. And if you're in corporate or you work with a team or you collaborate, it's really a winner. Or if you're an educator, it does things that none of these devices can do. And it puts it in a whole different category because it's its own software and you're not loading it up with a bunch of stuff, right? You have a Chrome browser, but you don't load it up with a bunch of other stuff. So good stuff. Gradings from Boston Harrison. Does a remarkable pen work on the Papyr? No, it doesn't. Just so you know, this is a charging pen that works. This is basically on the Sony system, same as the Quaderno, which is Fujitsu. Fujitsu's a big company, right? So Fujitsu and Papyr on the same platform. The Papyr's black, the Quaderno's right, and Sony is the Sony DPT. I can't remember the name, but is the same device. So these are all similar devices, just with different software, and the hardware is the same. So these pins all work the same. Like I have a pin here for the Papyr and a pin for Fujitsu. One's just branded Fujitsu, right? So they all work, but you have to use this stylus because it's electronic and it connects, kind of like the iPad pencil, right? You got to use the same stylus, which the Remarkable and they use, I believe, the Ycom stylus, which is a little different, and that's why the Remarkable and the Onyx can be interchangeable. I hope that helps. What all updates do you know are coming to the Papyr? I know there's some PDF coming, and I know split screen. I should know more this week. Next week, I'm going to know more on the Papyr updates. They haven't told me yet, but they're working on some really cool stuff. I do know split screen's coming. That's a big one. Thanks for your reviews. Thank you, Marcin. Hey, the best from Poland. You know what's funny is I'm from Indiana originally, but I'm part Polish and part German, I think. That's where my ancestors are from, so it's great. Can you import blank PDFs on the RM2 and use and save as a template? Ugh, I got to check that out. That's one of the updates coming to the Papyr. So one of the things when you're reading a PDF on the Papyr, you can insert a page, a blank page, you put notes. So say you're reading a book or you're reading, see, they convert into their own system. So say you're reading a book and you want to put a page in, you can put a page in, but right now it puts it to the end. The other thing is it doesn't remember where you are in the PDF. And that's some of the things they're working on. You want to be able to insert the page and then have it right there and be able to put notes. And then when you print the PDF or work with it, that black page came in. But nightmare to the point of importing blank PDFs on the RM2 and use and save as a template, I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can. One of the problems I had with the RM1 with templates, whenever they would update the software, you'd have to re-import them again. And again, I like ease of use, and that's why I just use the standard templates. It used to drive me nuts when I would import something and then I would have to redo it again and re-import it. I just don't have the time to do that. Maybe I need to hire an assistant to do those things, right? Mohammed said, hey, JB, is the light bleeding of the Max Lumi very annoying when reading in the dark? Greetings from Belgium. No, it's not. I think they did a good job with the light. I do. I think you can adjust it real well. I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to give them a high five on that. I'm not going to be negative. I think the light, front light on the Lumi and on the Note Air is fantastic. So it's great. Off topic, but love my old car. It's got a 73 VW Beetle. Nice. And a 73 VW camper. That's awesome. Money pits. I get it. I understand, Trevor. I get it. Godspeed. I like your name. That's cool. I just rebooted my Mac and I brought 1 week before and now have no clue what to after Command R. Oh, I'm sad. No, that sucks. Well, just try to stick with it. Stay with it and keep going. Chaplain James White comes in once in a while. Good to see you. You said the Lamy with the remarkable nib is a good trick. Yes, it is good. It works real well. I have my Lamy in the other room. I also bought a new Stadler jumbo with eraser to test on these devices, by the way. I'm using the Lamy with the Super Note A5, and it's amazing. I love that I don't have to replace the tips. It isn't wearing down. I like the plastic nibs. It does feel like a gel pen. That's great. And hey, we don't talk about Supernote. Like, Supernote is a great device. Like, I have the A6X. And if you like the reading feel of this is a cool device. I don't want to leave Supernote out of this conversation. They do have a nice device. In fact, you can see my fantasy football notes in here. I had to pick up a couple players this week, and I used this for really quick things that I use, and the Supernotes work. I think, Chaplain, you're right with that. What do you think on reading books or web pages, not PDF, and split mode on a Note Air? It's actually okay. I think it's just a little small. I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi, or I'd show you, but I think it's okay. Their browser's pretty good. Their browser isn't bad. What are your views of the Kobo versus the Note Air? Which would you better for reading? Dorian asks. I love the Kobo. I'm telling you, this is my reader. This is the go-to. I mean, this is always with me, okay? It's not even close to Note Air for me in consideration. Okay, J-Dub. Oh, thanks, J-Dub. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming in with your opinions. You know, you always get one of these people, right? And I got to figure out how to block them that jump in here real quick. That's just great. Amanda says, I'm a lawyer and will really want a note taker that I can also annotate PDFs, but they're all text-based. But was leaning towards the Air to also get that benefit. It may work for you, Amanda. It may work for you. That's the thing. That's where I'm telling you that I think the Onyx products are actually pretty good, is that the PDFs work really, really well. And I think that's one of their great things that work well there. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, Jada, that's great. You always get like an 8-year-old in here, or a 12-year-old, right? Savannah, does the paper have red and green ink? The paper does have red and green ink. That's a great question. It does have red and green and blue, I believe. Let me just turn it on and check for me. Yeah, I'm in a different thing, so I can't block right now, or I would block him. But it is what it is. I will block him next time, so he won't be here. So when I click the ink, I'll tell you they have, hold on the paper, they have red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue. And then they have shades. So red, green, and blue. So that's it. Okay, let's keep going. Hey, JB, get an honest opinion. Does the Books Note Air come closer, Remarkable 2, or is it even better? The Books Note Air comes close, again, but the Remarkable 2 it's just awesome. It's just awesome. It really works well. It's great. So I just like the Remarkable 2. But the Books Note Air is close. It's just a different device. And Android apps and e-ink are reading... an Android app and e-ink reading on the Scribed app, but scared to pull the trigger. Wondering the Lumi is what I want, but it's too large for reading embedded. Yes, the Lumi is really big. That's part of the problem, Amanda. The Lumi is really big. Really big. Okay, good. Yeah, you can block that guy. That's fine. Just block that guy. No, it has not come. The Stadler Norris Digio has not come yet. Do you know if Voya is going to review the Note Air? Yes, Voya is going to review the Note Air real soon. Just so you know, probably he's coming. He told me next week he's going to do his deep. That's why I haven't done it, because he's going to go through all the deep stuff of it, you know. For Amanda, the lawyer's question, PDFs and notes, if their Air writing is better than RM2, does the RM2 have good file type support? It's okay. Like, the file support on the RM2 is okay, but it's not great. And that's the problem. It's like, that's where I think if you have a lot of PDFs and you have to do a lot of that type of work, you're going to have to really get the Note Air or the Lumi and work with them over time to really massage them in. I think you'll be a little disappointed with the PDF reader on the Remarkable 2. And that's where I personally think like a Sony device, whether Quaderno or paper, may be in what you're really looking for. And that's why I'm waiting to see the update with the Papyr, because the Papyr could be what you're really looking for. And that's a device that's really outside of what we're doing. Just because the Lumi and the Note Air do so many things that it gets a little confusing. Okay, how good is the form factor of the Night Air versus other devices? It's good. It's good. I mean, I like the Remarkable's form factor better, but it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I don't like that you have to stick the case to the case. They should have made this a magnet. I mean, come on. 3M tape. That's just, you're spending $400 or $500 for a device and you're sticking it to the case. I don't like that. Then you're stuck to the case. The case is decent, but I just don't like that. The form factor of the device itself is actually pretty cool. It's actually cool. And I don't like that you have to put a screen protector on. Okay, those are just some negatives, but it's pretty cool. I reviewed the Pocketbook Color e-reader. I need to get a color e-reader at some point. The only reason I would use it for comics, though, but Ace of Base, thank you. Larry, good to see you. So let's keep going. We'll keep rocking. Thomas, good to see you. AJ, how about the Sharp electronic notebooks? I haven't done those, AJ. I will check into those real soon. Incredible Pete's come on here and be abusive to those they're forced to be on. I am. I don't even, those people, I mean, I'm going to figure out, I know I can block them typically. I've never had, here's the deal. When you start growing like I am, we made our first $1,000 this month, which is cool. YouTube, we've got 10,300 subscribers. It's growing. And people are just frustrated and angry. And they're just kids, right? So I think I got to have the YouTube app rolling. I'll research. I got a coach, and I'll talk to him on how, when I'm doing these chats, I can just block people right away. I'm using Ecamm Live, so I don't know how to do it, but I will do that soon. I remember the R1 talking about the feel. And there's got to be a way to block, but I'll figure it out, guys, for next Thursday, I promise. I remember I'm talking about the feel like paper scratchiness. Is that still? It's the RM. The scratchiness of the RM is pretty similar, so to the RM2. Okay, JB, if you had to pick one device purely for note taking, which one it'd be? It'd be the Remarkable 2, Ahmed. It'd be the Remarkable 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the quality of the PDF images better on the RM2? Yes, the image quality is great. It's just not the best reader, okay? And I'm sure that'll improve. It's just not the best reader. Do you know anything about split screen feature in Remarkable 2? I don't think that they will ever do split screen, just to let you know. Hey, good to see you from India. Your channel gives you more information than the company Remarkable says. Well, I'm glad to have you. It's so cool. I wanted to ask you ask you in the Remarkable and the Lumi Onyx books, you take the notes and you want to go to the head. If you could continue to write below instead of taking a new blank sheet. No, so they don't have, what you're asking for is an expandable canvas, right? So when you go to that expandable canvas, basically what happens is you can do anything you want. Those sheets you have to in new sheets. So you have to put some new sheets. I don't know anything about the Poke devices, so that's great. I would need it for mathematical calculations. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, that's where I think an unlimited canvas of the paper really is nice because it is pretty cool. You think RM will improve the review, the PDF reviewing, etc.? Yeah, I don't know. I think they may. The company's pretty cool. We will wait and see. All right, so guys, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to rock and roll this thing. We're going to call it an end. I will get to everybody's questions as I can. I appreciate you guys really being a part of this. When you guys see that chat stuff in there, if you don't mind, I'm going to get it blocked afterwards. And it's a shame that we have to do that in today's world, that I have to figure out how to block somebody while I'm doing a chat. But I will do that for the next one, I promise. Nobody needs to be reading that garbage from some infantile person. It's just not worth it. There's so many great people out there, and we have the smartest people in the world, not people like some 8-year-old kid that has jumped into our chat. So we'll call it a day, and we will be back later, and I will make sure I handle that next time. And everybody, I really